also incredibly talented, and that's Miguel, who I feel like strangely enough has somehow become like one of the like top male vocalists somehow in
Mm,
at least R and
yeah,
B. But
definitely.
I don't know if I would have expected to be saying that about him like 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, Adorn is a legit a banger of a song, just one of the all time great R and B sexy jams. But I don't know if I'm like a super Miguel fan. Maybe you're a little bit more into him than I am, but wouldn't say any of his other tracks have ever like popped off to me like that. And he's dropping this EP, Art Dealer Chic 4, the fourth of this series that he's been re-releasing the first three, which were self-released back in 2012. And this has some new tracks on it, some new recordings. But I guess like Dave, just give me your temperature of Miguel. Are you a fan? And then also, what did you think of this Art Dealer Chic 4?
Yeah, well, that's why I was interested to see this pop up, just because we haven't talked about Miguel in a while. The last album he came put out was War and Leisure at the end of 2017, which actually did have probably one of my favorite Miguel songs, Skywalker with Travis Scott. I think that one's incredibly sticky, and I think one of the better attempts from Travis at doing a more crossovery feature. Um, but yeah, it's been a while for Miguel. I think he had some original songs come out in 2019, nothing in 2020. So it's been a while, especially for someone of his stature. As you said, he's at the top. I think he has a nice combo of being at the top, both critically and commercially when it comes to R&B. A lot of times it's one or the other, right? Artists like Brent Faiyaz and Giveon, not popular artists. Artists like Chris Brown, very popular but haven't made good music in a long time. Seems like Miguel's been able to, for the most part, keep both of those tracks going, but we just haven't had a lot of music in a while. And it's kind of like that James Blake EP that popped up, was last year sometime. Just cool to get a taster, remind you, oh yeah, Miguel, I like Miguel. I like to hear another album. And there's 4 tracks here, and I like 2 of them, and the other 2 I didn't like too much, but it's a taster EP. It just to remind you that Miguel's still out there. So looking forward to more, really.
Yeah, I on first listen, I think the two in the middle, Triangle Love and Thinking Out Loud, really stood out to me.
Mhm.
I think what I really liked about Triangle Love was just like how heavy the bass was on that, and a lot of this was very like these tracks were very produced, and especially for someone like Miguel who just has such an amazing
Mm,
voice to be like
yeah.
really like putting a lot of like mix and different like experimenting on his voice kind of felt like an interesting choice to me. But he also had just like these like crazy synths almost
Yeah.
in every single song, and I was like, okay, I'm down with this vibe. Like, let's just see where we're going here. So I think there's some things to like, but also some I have some questions about maybe what another Miguel album's going to look like. But what were the tracks that stood out to you?
Yeah, the first 2, Funeral and Triangle Love, I really enjoyed the just how bass heavy those
Yeah.
drums were with Funeral. I thought it was a nice mix with the vocals. And then Triangle Love, also similar in terms of the drums. And I think Miguel's performance is really nice on that one. And then it has a really hard to miss sample to end the track, which is from the 2004 movie Closer. Julie Roberts and Clive Owen's characters talking about sex life and infidelity and all that stuff, and harkens back to other like raunchy samples, like famously Biggie's "Respect," for example. It's always funny to see that, but this was quite graphic, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah. Well, with Miguel, he's not
Right.
gonna pull punches in that.
Yeah. If anything, I expected. I'm surprised you haven't gotten more of this from the weekend, to be honest, because the weekend is truly, and Miguel's not that far off, I guess, but truly, like, I have sex all the time. That's what I do.
Hey, I mean, I guess there's worse things to brag about, right?
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll be getting something, more from him soon. So we'll be talking more about him and check out the Nostalgia Best of 2021 playlist that's in the show notes for this and on Spotify for one of these tracks.